Back to the channel. I'm Ninja Turtle, and today we are talking about my finally finished and completed Psylocke custom-made action figures, plural, multiple. I've been doing this, working on this for the last few weeks. I do like to apologize. It was not my intention to wait so long in between my last video, which was a bunch of Black Widows, and covered that, and you guys really love Black Widow. This is like the third time that Black Widow's, like second or third time, you guys really like Black Widow every time I make content for her. But it wasn't my intention to wait so long in between videos. I actually finished some other figures, which you can't see right now, but it is on the shelf back there. But it's not the way that I want her to be, so I'm waiting for a few things, and I'm going to come back to that. That's the magic figure I talked about previously in the community post. But since then I've gone through a lot of mental changes as far as what I want to do. We'll talk about that later maybe. But here's Psylocke. I've been working on Psylocke, like I said, for the last few weeks. I've got 4 versions of her for various uses. These are for the most part my favorite costumes of Psylocke, so I really wanted to have something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. Basically, it actually kind of works out that that's somewhat true. Anyway, but yeah, we're gonna break down these builds for these characters, or this character, so that way you are a little informed on how I made these and what it took to get to this place. Not going to go into like direct detail. I don't do that, but it's just more of a overview on their build and the colors used and such. So stay tuned if you're interested in that. I'll talk about them individually as needed, but all of them do have the exact same body build, and I will go back. I won't have to reference this each and every time I talk about them. They all have as a base the upper torso and lower torso on this type of figure. So this is the Hellcat figure, but if you have like the Walgreens Medusa, or the Shuri Black Panther, or the Wasp figure, the black one or the blue one, that's all the same body as this. All 4 of these figures are using this upper and lower torso. Either, I think, which one actually has a let's see, this one is using a Wasp, the black one, because it's black, all black, so I just went ahead and just used a Wasp figure for this one, for the lower torso at least. The upper torso might actually be one of these, I think, for a yellow or purple, and it might be a Medusa. I think 2 of these are Medusas, and then one of these is an actual Hellcat. But for the most part, the upper torsos are, and the lower torso for all 4 of these are the exact same model type. And then the legs, I don't have a figure for that, but the legs are all the same type as well, except for here there's a small variation. The legs are all, the thighs are all from the original, not original, I guess the previous Psylocke from like the Apocalypse wave, or the Psylocke that's in the 3-pack with Nimrod and Phantom X. That's what this one's on. Those full legs are already black and everything, so I just used those here and painted the purple onto those. But yeah, this is the Psylocke. Also, we'll talk about that more at length when you get to it. But the Blink figure, the Emma Frost figure from Walgreens, the Psylocke Apocalypse Wave Psylocke, they all have the same type of legs, so that's what I'm using on all of these. The only exception is here on the which we'll get to, Kwannon. I'll go into more detail. This one has bodysuit legs at the bottom, so it has a little bit more fabric detail on those. You'll see that shortly, and then that's it. But everything else is the same. And yeah, let's go ahead and talk about a little bit more of a detailed breakdown of each one of these. Alright, so I'm going to start with this Psylocke. This is like a Uncanny X-Men, I believe is volume 4 Psylocke, something around that era. This is a team that had her and Sabretooth. I believe Magneto was leading the team at the time. Maybe 10-ish years ago. I can't remember exactly the date on it, but one of my favorite looks. I really enjoyed that run just because I like Psylocke, but I really like this costume on her. This is the costume I wish Hasbro had gave her when they did that Phantom X Nimrod pack. And when they announced it, I was hoping it was either going to be the more basic X-Force looking suit or this one, but yeah, they gave us what they gave us. I never really liked what they gave us, even in the comics, but this one is the one that I obviously like. So yes, I said previously, in that Phantom X Nimrod 3-pack Psylocke, I was already using the legs from this. This is pretty much like I had previously mentioned. The torso is like the Medusa, actually a wasp figure because it's already black pin in there, but that's the torso. Everything else here is actually from that Phantom X Nimrod 3-pack Psylocke, including the hair, so you can see the different tones in her hair, the arms, the legs, the weapons, you know, her butterfly effect, and including her head sculpt with that same red color for her lipstick. So basically it was just giving her a new body and repainting the details as needed for this look. I really love also this image. This is what I'm trying to recreate, the image, which I don't know who the artist is, but I have that picture in my phone. I have this picture as a t-shirt. I've worn it so many times. I'm gonna reorder the t-shirt probably because it's like all worn out and washed out, so I'm gonna get it again. So I really love that picture in this pose, and her hair, which is what Hasbro did this with her hair. They styled her hair, Hasbro, just like it is in that picture, so it ends up working out super well for what I want this figure to look like. Even if you don't want this hair for your Jim Lee style Psylocke, it works out really great for this costume. But yeah, that's really it. It's just black with some purple lines on there, some chevrons at the bottom. Pretty simple. It didn't take a whole lot of effort to paint this. I just wanted to make sure I get the purple right. Now, however, one thing that is missing is her sash. She does not have a sash. I didn't give her one. I was planning on giving her one. I was hoping to actually start implementing soft goods into my customs. This was going to be the first official one, even though there's some other stuff going on in the background, but this would have been the first official one. I tried, I failed, it didn't work out. Things weren't happening the way I want them to, specifically the way I want them to. Not that it's impossible to do soft goods, obviously, but the way that I want to do them, it didn't work out. So I'm just giving up on soft goods entirely, and I just don't want to invest myself both in time and, you know, labor, the skill, the money to do soft goods the justice they deserve. I want to do it the easier way, and it wasn't working out. So I'm not going to go into all of those details now. I'm not going to bore you, but no sash here. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't sashes available within Marvel Legends. Do I still have that other sash right here? It's not readily available. So there was a sash actually on the Hellcat here. It did come with one. But I'd rather not use it. One, because at this point, I don't want to take this apart to try to put that sash on there, because I did, again, try to do cloth on this. It wasn't working out. So I don't have to take this apart to put on a new sash. Two, if I did, I had to paint. It was a blue one. It needs to be pink. I'd have to paint it pink, and then there might be paint rub, and I don't want that. So maybe I'll order a sash from off the internet, or I'll just leave her without the sash. She looks really good without it. It would be a perfect, complete thing if she did have it there, and I do want it there, so I will think about it in the future, but right now, this will do just fine. Lastly, one thing I forgot to mention about all of my Psylocks, I wanted to make sure you guys knew that I'm using the Dark Flesh. This is Model Color Vallejo acrylic paint, Dark Flesh, for the skin tone on all 4 of the Psylocks. If you wanted to have a Psylocke with the same skin tone as what I've made, that is what I've used for all of them. But yeah, that's it for this one. Let's move on to the next. Alright, so I'm continuing to treat the comic book heads. If you actually read comic books, you would know a little bit more about the character and the different versions and costumes and such. So that's what we got going on here today. This is modern Psylocke. This is what she looks like today. And, spoiler alert, this is not Betsy. This is Kwannon. And also, I'm going to be a nerd. Sorry. Yeah, it's actually, for the last time I checked, it is pronounced Kwannon, not Kwannon. The W is silent, so it should be Kwannon. And I got that from the actual creator of the character. I saw a YouTube video of him saying it, and he said Kwannon, so I'm going to say Kwannon. Either way, modern Psylocke, for anyone that doesn't want to say that name, looks like this. So this is what she's going with right now in the comic books, is more of a darker blue, red sash. It's not necessarily right. She's wearing, like, you know, at this moment in time, at the date of this recording, she's actually got a completely new costume that looks really nice, but I would rather have the more simplistic Psylocke. So she was wearing this a couple years ago, really. But again, same build, all that jazz as I explained before. The only difference is here it is still a very simplified, like with the bands on the legs, the bodysuit legs for some little extra cloth details. The sash, the red sash, this actually came from the Apocalypse Wave Psylocke. So this is all that I have left of that figure. So this is that sash that was on that figure is now here. This sash fits bigger. I think I meant to say that before. This sash fits bigger than the one that was on the Hellcat figure. So there's a little bit more spacing there. It's already red. You didn't have to paint anything and all that. It's already right color. But the one on the Hellcat figure is a lot smaller, so it's a little tighter. This one fits a little bit looser, but it's still plenty, you know, tight enough on her body. All of the figures, I also forgot to mention, have been sculpted to be enhanced in the chest area, so they have bigger chests than your standard Medusa figure would, or Hellcat, or whatever body you're going to be using. That's the only real modifications. Obviously I sculpted the bands and all that on the legs, but that's like the biggest mod is chest on all of them. I gave them much bigger chests. All of them also are using the same head, which is the Apocalypse Wave, or the 3-pack Psylocke, but they're all the same head. I don't have the head for the other 3-pack Psylocke for the team suit. I did have it at one time. I was going to copy it, but things didn't work out for me keeping it. I ended up selling all of my stuff. That's a whole nother story, but I never was able to make resin copies of that newer Psylocke head, so I just decided to use the older one. Also, this older one fits on this body, and I did test that out. The newer one does not fit on this body as well. Either way, this is a resin copy head of that. Repainted. All of the face details on all of them are painted by me by hand. The hair is the hair from Silk, the like original Silk figure from Marvel Legends. So that had like a bunch of blue highlights into it. I removed all that and fitted it onto the Psylocke head. It did take a little bit of sculpt to fill in some gaps because it wasn't a perfect fit. So there is a little bit of epoxy sculpt in there in various spots around the headline, the forehead, and around the ears and stuff, just to make sure that it looks as seamless and as possible. You can see some of it, but it's not so bad. But yeah, I had to completely paint her face, eyes, eyebrows, and lipstick, and all of that stuff. It's all done by me. The blue on this particular Psylocke, if you're curious, is also again Vallejo model color. This one is Infantry Blue. Infantry, there it is, Infantry Blue. So that's what this color is. Other than that, that's about it. Oh, the sword is also from the, I believe it's from the Pirate Deadpool, but you can get the sword from other characters as well. But I think this one specifically is from Pirate Deadpool. Alright, now we're in a little bit more familiar territory. The classic blue. This one specifically is going on my Marvel vs. Capcom shelf. So the first Psylocke I ever made on this channel is this Psylocke. And that was 4 years ago, 2020. And this is my remake. This is actually my third remake of this. The last time I remade it was earlier this year. I never filmed that because it broke. And that's why we're at the third remake. So hopefully this won't break. It shouldn't have the issues that my last one did. But this one does have some upgrades from that previous second build and from the first one. So first off, it's still actually using the exact same thighs. It's the same sculpt that I had 4 years ago. I have not changed anything about the sculpt on these thighs. It's exactly how I did it, but I did have to change the lower legs. Those were bodysuit detailed, but the knees, for some reason, I don't understand what happened, but the knees broke on them. They were like all ripped up when I was taking it apart, so I had to replace it, and I don't have any more bodysuit legs, so I just use regular Blink legs. So they're just regular legs down here. And then again, the dark skin for the flesh tone. Resculpted the arms. These arms are the arms for Blink, as Blink or Psylocke, whoever it is. They have a little bit more muscle tone to them and a little bit better range of motion, so you can get a little bit further than 90. No, they're not double jointed pinless. I don't use those, sorry. But you know, obviously I'm not selling these either, so these are for me, so I don't know who I'm apologizing to. The accessory, the psychic knife, does come from one of those Psylockes, probably the Apocalypse Wave Psylocke. I don't remember which one, but most likely from the Apocalypse Wave. The belt is sculpted on, hard sculpted on with epoxy sculpt, just like all the rest of the bands and stuff, or in the chest and all the other details. That's how she looks like in the game. She does not have a loose sash or loose belt. And it's a lot easier to do a sculpted on belt than to have a one that's loose, so that way there's no paint rub. That said, I gave her the Crimson Dawn. So this is a little bit of a comic book reference, but also in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the official portrait art, she does have the Crimson Dawn mark on her face in the official portrait art of the game. So this is a cool just reference to that, but also this can double as my Crimson Dawn Psylocke if I wanted to have one specifically, you know, for that reason. Other than that, the last thing would be her hair. The hair is mostly 100%, maybe like 95% Monet. It is the exact hair just put onto the Psylocke head, and the only difference is I cut off these little loose pieces. Well, actually no, that one's still there. Never mind, I lied. Is the one in the front there? Yeah, so the only difference then is that on the Psylocke I put a little widow's peak there, because that's when I was looking at comic book references, that's how it looks, whereas this Monet does not have that widow's peak. So I added just a little sculpt in the front of her forehead to be that widow's peak, and then painted it purple. And I think there might be a little bit of extra sculpt on her head to make sure it fit perfectly, but that's about it. All her eyes and stuff, all hand painted by me. Lips, everything, all hand painted. I forgot to put fingernail polish on this one, so she doesn't have it, but not the biggest loss in the world. Also, Lastly, this color blue on this Psylocke is dark blue. If I can get a little focus. There we go. Dark blue on Vallejo. It doesn't make that much of a difference between the other blue that I'm going to show you, but just for reference, this is indeed dark blue on this particular Psylocke. Alright, save the best for last. What you've been waiting for? Possibly. The Jim Lee Psylocke. Finally, a Marvel Legends Psylocke that has a Jim Lee. I actually do believe things are getting better for the female figures at Hasbro, you know, with the butterfly joints and the diaphragm hinge and all that, and at the waist cut, and they're doing pinless double jointed arms better. They're getting some things more accurate, although they're still not perfect, but they're getting there. I do think that they're going to make a Psylocke actually pretty soon, if the rumors hold up. And they're going to get it right. I think they're going to do either this Psylocke, a Jim Lee one, and do it like right with pinless legs and actually get the leg details on there like I did together, and do everything right. Because that's the reason why I'm here, because I have all these Psylocks, because they refuse to make one that's good. That said, yeah, this Psylocke is out of focus. One day she'll come back into focus for us. Anyway, she'll come back. She'll come back, I promise. But yeah, there she is. This is the Jim Lee Psylocke. And yes, all of this detail down here on her leg is sculpted on by hand, by me. I would have liked for it to be a little thinner, a little flatter. Well, I was having some issues with the sculpt at the time. I don't really know. Maybe I didn't mix it right. So it sticks on there, but when I was going to Dremel it down and sand it down, I was having some issues with it. So it didn't come out exactly as smooth and clean as I would have liked. You know, this down here in particular, but it was also an issue up here as well. Either way, I tried my best to look at reference images to do my best looking Jim Lee Psylocke. So I'm looking at X-Men 1 and 2 and all of that stuff to get all of these details right, because it is very special. He only did it for a little bit to have her look like this, and then he went to the more conventional 2 solid bands on each side and all of the legs. He would change that later on, but I wanted it to look like this because I really like the way this one looks. The extra details are actually worth it to me. For maybe not for drawing, but for a toy, it looks really good. The belt, again, sculpted on, not a sash. I could have gone either way with that, but I'm pretty sure he originally just did a regular belt that's pink. If I'm wrong, that's alright. I still like it like this regardless. And then the blue on this one is, like I said, you can't really tell all that much of a difference, but it is a flat blue of this model color. I wanted to have different blues. It was important to me for some reason. Don't ask, I don't know. But the sword, and I do have the psychic knife effect as well for this Psylocke, and the butterfly, that's all from that original Apocalypse Wave Psylocke. The hair is also, and the head is from that Psylocke from the Apocalypse Wave. So no variation. Same thing, the lip color. So all I did was basically repaint that Psylocke's head so the flesh tone rematches. And also one thing, pet peeve, that Psylocke had originally the Apocalypse Wave 1 and the 3-pack from the Nimrod and Phantom X. They had, the eyes were blue. Psylocke's supposed to have purple eyes. So that always bothered me. All of my Psylocks have purple eyes. It's hard to see because it's really small, but I repainted all of them, even the ones that are just that head transferred over. So this one and the black one I had to repaint the eyes because I had to take the blue eyes out and make them purple. But other than that, yeah, that's about it. I gave her eyelashes too, so she's really pretty. Black eyebrows. You can go purple as well if that's what you're into, violet. something darker, but I wanted black eyebrows because that's my jam. And yeah, let's get a little bit of a comparison back out here because I want to show you a little something else. All right, so we're gonna finish this up. I wanted to show you some head swaps because I wasn't done. That wasn't everything. I made 2 additional head sculpts for 2 of the figures. So the 2 on the outside, the Kwannon and the Jim Lee, I did not make, but the 2 on the inside, I did make new head sculpts for them, or alternate head sculpts. We'll start with this one, the Uncanny X-Men one. I gave her a ponytail on this one. So this was a variant look for her when she had this costume. Is sometimes she would have her hair down. Most of the time I think she did actually have the ponytail, but I prefer using this head sculpt just in general for the display because of how pretty the multicolors of purple and violet are, and the butterfly effect works on this particular head better. So it doesn't really fit on this one, but again, she looked like this more often in the comics with the actual ponytail. So the hair, again, the head is still the same Psylocke head on all of these except for Lady Mandarin, but it's a whole other thing. But it's still the same Apocalypse Wave, or I believe this is a resin copy of the Apocalypse Wave head, and not a not the Nimrod one. But either way, the hair is from the Netflix Elektra figure. So it's just a simple ponytail with some bangs going down. Colored this one purple. This one is a little bit on the darker side of purple. It's yeah, I think it's just straight up purple. The Angelus colors, but yeah, it came out good. I think it looks nice. I do like it, but like I said, I prefer the other head sculpt with the longer hair. Then on the Marvel 2 one, this is the hair that I originally had on my first Marvel 2 Psylocke from 4 years ago. And then, like I said, I remade it earlier this year, and I made this head sculpt for it. That figure broke, and now we're at the 3rd remake. So I added some. Oh, well, the hair itself is again the same head, same Psylocke head. The hair is from the Black Cat figure. That is the one with, I don't know, the crazy face. The one with all of. I don't have it available. I was gonna, oh, there it is. Never mind. It was hiding. This here Black Cat, which not in focus. That's what this hair is. And then I added some sculpt to give her some more flushes and whatever, some more bangs, whatever. I've actually saw a really great looking custom Psylocke using the Target Black Widow, one of the hair, because the hair is the exact same as this, but obviously it doesn't have, that head doesn't have this mask. It's a different head, the Black Widow head. So they just repainted the Black Widow head, the hair on it, and made a custom Psylocke off of that body. I'm pretty sure they used the Miss Marvel body, the new Miss Marvel body. So it has like the double jointed arms, and it has the butterflies and all that stuff, and it's really awesome. They did a great job with it. But yeah, I used this hair several years ago, and just reused it again. And yeah, it pink lips this time, so this just something a little bit different. This hair color, I believe, is like grape purple, not just regular purple. But that is all. And then you can see Lady Mandarin back there. That's the only official Hasbro Psylocke that I have, and I didn't modify in any kind of way. It's because that's the only one that I think they did a good enough job. And I really, really like Lady Mandarin a lot. Other than that, she doesn't articulate all that well because of all the plastic. But she is double jointed pinless and all that jazz. And she has a really great head sculpt. Other than that, I think I'm good on Psylocke. That doesn't mean I'm good on Betsy, though. That's a whole nother thing, but I honestly don't have much room back there. You can kind of make out some of my X-Men collection back there and what's left of it, that is. And it's just that shelf that you're looking at right there. That's it. You can see the magic figure that I was talking about earlier, but I don't have anything else as far as just extended X-Men figures. That is all of them. They're all just the X-Men ladies. Everything else, which you'll see very soon in the video coming up, my X-Men are moved about in the Marvel vs. Capcom stuff, and that's all the Marvel Legends I have are all on this stuff. There's a Marvel Ladies, but that's all the X-Men ladies right there. So I don't have a lot of room for these Psylockes. They do have to go on this shelf right there. And yeah, that's it. I don't know. I want more Betsy's. I would love to have like a classic Betsy, the way she was as Caucasian Betsy, basically. I would love to have the way she is now as Captain Britain. Still surprised Hasbro hasn't made that. And I would love to have Captain Britain in the Hellfire Gala. But I have 5 Psylocke already. I don't have a lot of room, so I probably won't be making any of those. But if anything changes in the future, I would like to attempt to at least make the Captain Britain stuff and buy a Captain Britain, or figure something out. I don't know. Either way, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Likes are appreciated. Comments that are positive are appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you next time. I hopefully will have something up with Magic by the end of the month to actually go back and fix what the issues are with that. Possibly. If not, then I will have something with this other character that I was just showing you earlier, Monet. I'm going to make a modern suit for her. And that won't take too long because it's very simple and I don't have to do her face. So fantastic. Anyway, I will see you guys next time.